I kind of feel like because this shirt has a hood, I'm obligated to film this video this way. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the Spring 2018 Orly collection, which is called Pastel City. So if you guys remember back to last year, you know, I love Orly, you guys know. I purchase everything that they make and I review it for you here, and sometimes they have a huge hit on their hands. Last year, their spring collection, I just really didn't care for. The formulas I felt like were problematic because they were sheer, but you couldn't really build them up very easily because they were also messy. They were like too thick of a sheer base. It was totally strange. A lot of you love that collection, which I was so happy about because you don't have to agree with my reviews. These are just my opinions, and then of course I'm showing you the live application so that you can see what my actual experience is like with these polishes. I had to say that part because I was very happy with this collection in contrast to that collection. These polishes still aren't really my favorite look on the nail. I felt like a lot of them just struck the same note. However, it's huge the difference between formulation. So all of these polishes are totally wearable and workable in my opinion. So if these are colors that you are into and searching for, which is basically just a very bright, fresh pastel look on the nail, then you're really gonna like this collection and it's going to be workable for you. These polishes aren't gonna be difficult to use. So I'm really happy to let you guys know that. 3 polishes out of the collection are these incredibly bright pastel chromy, very frosty chromes. So that makes up half of the collection, and then we have some very bright pastel, like whiteout colors. So we're gonna go ahead and get into swatching. I purchased these from 88beauty.com, which when I was purchasing them last week was the only place that I could find them. You may be able to find them more places, but they were $4.25 a bottle. They have incredibly fast shipping at 88beauty, by the way, and I put that up here. So that's where I purchased them from. I don't do the Orly Color Pass. I just have never signed up for it. I just prefer to purchase collections when I want to instead of paying for them in advance. So anyway, if you're looking for this collection, that's where I found it. Let's go ahead and get into swatching. I'm gonna go in alphabetical order like I always do. So the first polish in the collection is a very light white out peach, and it's called Cyber Peach. So I tell you guys, when I saw this collection, I got so worried that it was gonna be the same exact thing as last year, because last year they did the same thing. They did very light, sheer, white out pastel shades. So I saw this and I thought, well, this is just like a repeat of last year, but it's not. The formula is totally different. These are more like a typical cream formula rather than like a squishy, crelly kind of base that they did. So that's why I was saying that I'm very happy that these are totally usable and swatch nicely. So we're gonna go ahead and swatch Cyber Peach. I'm just gonna do 2 coats. I stopped at 2 because I felt like they're wearable that way. You could go for a third if you wanted to build this up even more. I got to the second coat and I was like, I don't want to jinx this. This was the first polish that I tried out of the collection. I was like, I don't want to jinx it. It looks fine right now. I'm just gonna leave it. Because I was like, if I try to over manipulate this polish, I might have a bad experience with it on 3 coats, and I don't even think you really need that coat. Unless you're really particular about making sure that there's no streaks, then you probably want to do a third. Anyway, like I was saying, a lot of the polishes in this collection look similar, at least the 3 that aren't chromes. So this polish is not super exciting to me, but if you're looking for like a white, basically like an off-white that just is tiny, you know, just a little bit of tint of peach in it, then this is the color for you. So this is Cyber Peach. Okay, so we're gonna do all 3 of the chromy, frosty chromes right here. They all fall next to each other in alphabetical order. So first up we have this green. So it's a green with undertones of blue, but it mostly looks green to me. It's described as electric jungle, which it makes me think of like rainforest green, or what do they call it, rainforest blue in the crayon box, where it's a lot of green but a little bit of blue. That's what this looks like. And then it looks like they added a lot of silver chrome powder, which just really silvered out the intense pigment that they put in this. You guys, these chromes are basically good at 1 coat, as you're gonna see me apply them. You can go for 2, which I think I show you 2 in the swatches, but I mean, I just did 1 coat of this purple one here today. You get really great coverage. So the thing about frosty chromes is they are gonna leave brush strokes, and they're also gonna show like every imperfection of your nails. So my nails right now are like super dry and like I hate to say, but they're like flaky dry. My poor nails. They need vitamins, nutrition, they need sunlight. They need it to not be so dry. Anyway, and I also have one nail, as you're gonna see on this polish actually that we're swatching right now, is totally like cracked across the middle, and I'm babying it to try to save that nail for a little bit longer. So polishes like this are going to show those kind of imperfections in your nails unless you do maybe like a couple coats of base coat. That would definitely help you out. I did like this shade. I thought it was fun. Lustery chromes, frosty chromes, it's more of a frost than a luster, it's real frosty, are not necessarily something that I really look for. I look for just totally personal preference. I would choose a different kind of metallic than a chrome, just for me, just because of the look. It's just total personal preference thing. But I did think this was a fun shade, and I'm happy that there was a color like this in here rather than another shade that's like a whiteout pastel. You know what I mean? So I was glad this was in here. It gets great coverage. You don't even really need more than one coat, and it's like a fun way to switch it up. The next polish in the collection is same kind of formulation but in a purple. This is like a purpley pink, and it has a lot of pigmentation. Again, like I said, I only needed one coat here. These are really easy, like out the door kinds of polishes if you don't care about brush strokes. So, you know, I'm not gonna drag on and on about brush strokes. You either like them or you don't. You decide. But this color is really pretty. It's a beautiful, very robotic pink. This is kind of like cyber chic, these colors. So this one is called Lilac City, and so if you were looking for a purple version of that green we just did, this is the one. Okay, next up we have this kind of blushy tan version of the purple and green, and this one's called Metallic Haze. And I feel like this polish looks a lot like polishes that they've released. I feel like it was in their last two collections. The one from winter, I believe, was this winter, where it was champagne slushy. They're very similar. See, the champagne one is just a little bit more brown, less blush tones in there. And I didn't really care for that polish. So it's almost like they took that kind of idea and they amped it up even more and put 3 of them in this collection. But the reason why I didn't like that one was because, oops, I almost dropped it. The color was just not something I was into wearing in a frosty format. And so this one at least is like a little bit more pink, but I think out of the 3 chromy frosts, this one's probably my least favorite. It's almost like these brands are hearing me say that I don't really care for them. They're like, let's make more of them. Like the one that was just in the OPI collection feels kind of, it's not as chromy frosty as this, but it's like in the same vein. Anyway, that's silly of me because of course brands aren't listening to what I'm saying. But yes, it was just, I just kind of laughed about that to myself. So whether I like something or not, this applies nicely in 1 to 2 coats, and if you're looking for a frosty chromy blush tan, well, you have found it, my friend. Okay, so next up we're gonna look at Pink Noise, which is the kind of peachy pink. It's like a version of the first one we looked at called Cyber Peach, but this has a little bit more pink in it. This is the most pigmented of these light blasted whiteout pastels, and I mean, it was okay. It wasn't really, when I swatched all of these polishes, I wasn't like, oh yes, I was looking for that shade. Like I said, this collection didn't really excite me, but the formulas are all good. So this, as you're gonna see, is great at 2 coats and it swatches really easily and cleanly. If you wanted to go for 3 thin coats, giving lots of nice dry time, you will find yourself having a nice, crisp, no streak kind of manicure, very, very bright pastel. Okay, this last one, woo, this is like eye-searingly bright. This is basically a white with some purple in it, and this is called Power Pastel. Like I said, are your eyes burning? It's so, so bright. Yeah, and I got great coverage in 2 coats. So bravo to the coverage. I was really happy about that. Not really very streaky or anything, and if you wanted to do thin coats, you could go for 3 and have like absolutely clean, crisp, white, purpley nails. Which, I guess, since I like purple, this one would probably be my favorite out of the collection if I had to choose one. Like I said, I didn't really sit down and swatch through this collection and find any shade in here that I was like, yes, I was looking for that color. like I usually do when I'm swatching through a collection. This one just in particular, I wasn't that crazy about. I also wasn't mad at it, like I was saying in the beginning of the video. So all of these formulas were great, totally workable. I think that the chromes are probably the most interesting part of this collection if you like chromes. If you don't, then I guess I would choose this really, really white purple. But I don't think it's the kind of shade that I would say you have to go out and get it, just if you were looking for something like this, you know? And I feel like these three pastel shades, I think they're all a little bit one note. You know, for me personally, it would have been more exciting instead of having two kind of peachy shades is to maybe have a blue or a green or something. But maybe they were looking for something that would just appeal more to like the general masses that want to wear more neutrals. These are like neutrally pastels, blasted pastels. Except the purple, I guess that's not super neutral, but it's barely purple. Anyway, okay, you guys, that is my whole review. I hope that this helped you out. I will see you back for the next video, you guys. I hope you're having a great day. Take care until then. Bye!